YouTubers, Brian Proctor back again with another video, and this is the part 2 to my first video on how to draw hands for comics. So these are some of the examples that I will show you in the video. It's already done, so I'm just doing the opening. So yeah, let's just jump right into it because in comics you're going to need a lot of hands. So this cuts to just the simplest way to do hands, in my opinion. This is how I do hands, so hopefully you'll get something out of this, and then you walk away with it drawing hands like this, or even better than this. All right, so let's just jump right into it, and let's just go. Okay, let's get right into this. First of all, let's start by breaking the hand down for a more simpler understanding of the structure. First of all, you go with the square. The hand is basically a square. Cut the thumb off, that's a square. Everybody should know how to draw a square. Once you learn how to master your 3 shapes, circle, square, triangle, then there's nothing you can draw. So if you take this and you can do a, not so much a box, a plank out of this, and you can turn it from a lot of different angles, then you basically got the hard part down. Now, let's say you take this square here, you split that in half, imaginary, you put a half circle here and a half circle there. That's going to represent your palm. Now, wherever your thumb is, the way this comes all the way out, take this circle and go all the way around with it. This one is going to go up to the baby finger. Then for the thumb, you just want to put one piece like a rectangle and another twisty piece here like that. And that would be the part that you, for your thumbprint, that's this twisty piece here. So if you do that like that, you have this little square piece connected to that, then you're 3/4 of the way done. And you know you have 4 fingers here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Basically, that's your hand. Now if you do this with any shape, then you'll have your hand done. And anytime I draw a hand, as I say, if this is my arm and I needed to do a hand somehow, I'll just do a square like that. And then I'll just add my fingers. So if my thumb is here, I'll put it like this, depending on the type of hand I'm going to do. And right away, you can already see that it's a hand. Just add the fingers somehow. And then you got a hand. Very simple. So let's just draw a few hand examples, and then I'll break this down and I'll show you. But since we've got this, and since I did that example, once you have your thumb, once you split it and you do your 2 open palms is 1 palm, 2 halves, you want to be able to do 4 holes in this. Wherever this is, you want to do your 4 holes, and that's where your fingers come out of. So that's another easy part of the puzzle. So let's do some hands, and then I will show you as I'm drawing, because there are a lot of different hand movements, but once you get the basics, it becomes easier, and I'll show you the easy part. So let's just do this. Let's just do this. It's a square right here. It's up. Now we're going to cut again. This is where the thumb is going to be at. Now let's just say I want to bring the thumb in more. Now, your fingers are basically, let's get back to this. Your fingers are basically just ovals, like that. Just 4 ovals, like so. Now, if you turn it into cylinders, and oval and cylinder is just an oval with an opening through it, you have to be able to twist these every which way so that you can do your fingers, and then just add another piece of a cylinder to it, like so. And that's all it is, just doing fingers. But in the beginning, like I did here, I have my 4 openings, and then I will just use, as I said, this kind of the stick figure to put my fingers where I want to put them. And that makes it a little easier, and then you just add some extra meat to that. So let's go on with this one. So the thumb is the same way. You want to put depends on how your hand is going to be positioned. So let's just say I'm going to bring the thumb in. So I'll do this cylinder here, the small piece of cylinder here, and then I'll do the little bent part here, the actual thumbprint like that. And then that's going to be hooked onto this fleshy part of the palm here. Now with this, you know your hand is not really flat, and it's not really round. If it was anything, it would be more like this, 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 and then that. So, but just for the sake of argument, we'll make it just a bit round. So, you know you have your 4. You can split it like this. If it's facing down, you can do the front, or you can do this just for yourself and then erase it later, and then do your 4 holes where your finger's going to come out of. And as I say, it's just a cylinder. It's still not a cylinder. This is more just the ovals. Now I can do this, this, and then that, and then just turn that into an oval, like so, and that one. And that makes it a lot easier to do. And then later you come along and then you add, but just remember this is the longest finger. You don't want to have that too long. And then you want to make sure you leave space between your fingers like that, and then round that off, because this one goes up to that finger there. And another thing, you don't want to make your thumb too short. Now if you're doing your palm, your thumb is going to come up to close to where your finger, your joints, where your fingers actually start to come out your palm. So whenever you do your thumb, you want it about like that length. And just remember when you're doing the thumb, or when you're doing your lengths. So it would be like that, and then you have your bottom of your fingers here. And this one would come up a little bit. This is going to wrinkle here, and you have your lifeline coming out some way, but I usually don't put the line in it. It depends on how big the drawing is. So if I ink this thing, it would come out to be something like this. And this is a quick ink, a real quick ink. And for the sake of time, I'm not going to really be inking the rest of them. And that one's kind of long because the thumb should have been, this palm should have been a little shorter, but this is a quick tutorial. So let me draw another hand. These are going to be hands that usually that you see in comics. The hand poses. Slow down, Brian, because that hand is too long. So let's just say we'll do the hand that's like holding something, holding the world. So you have your, again, you have your rectangle, flipped it up. You have your 2, 3, 4 for your fingers. And let's say the thumb is going to come out over here. So what we want to do is this. Let's just say this, this, and then that. So we're going to break this in 2 pieces now. Well, we're going to take 2 cylinders. Cylinders, not cylinders, ovals. Like that. And let's just say this one will bend out. Now this is quick roughs that you could start your fingers with and then do your details with later. Now this is going to come down, this is going to come out more. And so it's your thumb. Let's just say your thumb is going to be out here. Now I can bend the fingers up more to give more of a dramatic kind of look. You can bend them in. But one thing you want to think about is when you bend your fingers, let's say you want to bend your fingers somehow like that. There are 3 sections, 2 sections, well, 1, 2, 3 sections. And your first bend in your finger is always going to be the bend, the major bend, because the second one would be here. So you don't want to have this going way up and then just have small space for these 2. This is going to be the shortest space here, the shortest, the shortest section right here. Then you're going to have a second one and a third one. But I usually don't do 3 unless I'm doing a hand close up. So if this was the hand close up, I would have the 3. But so let's say the first bend would be right here, second one. But from the back, you really won't see too much. You really won't notice it too much. Bring that, bend here, and then maybe a little bit in here. And then this one, just a small bend there. Maybe not even that much, that's a little close. Now the one thing that I want to mention is your hand is going to be round. It's going to be round on this top piece, and when you flip it over, let's just say this is from the front and there's your 4 fingers, it's actually going to be rounded a little bit, so just have to keep that in mind. And the thumb, it all depends on the hand angle. I don't know what it is with me about talking right now, whether you'll see the thumb or not, because the thumb could be hiding behind that finger. It could not be, you know, so the hand, the finger, the side, the back of the hand, it's going to be one of those videos. It's like that. So you have your knuckles. Like that. Let's do a little better on this one here. So you're going to have this bend, and then maybe just a little bend up here. Like that. Like that. And at the back, your wrist is going to bend. You're going to see a little bend back here. And then your arm, and then the rest of your arm. All right. Another would be, I don't know. Let's think. Let's try this one. Okay, so here's your square again. Now let's turn this into a circle a little bit. Square, there's your palm for this, your palm. Half of your palm, the other half right there. Now let's just do this little piece that comes out, this one little oval. This one would be a cylinder. And then let's just say put your thumb, the fingerprint part, because it's all your thumb. Let's bend that, turn that into an oval. So you have this oval and then this cylinder right there, and that goes into the hand. That goes into this part of the palm. So we're coming up, your finger. This first finger is always going to be straight. So you have that. This first finger is always going to be straight with this. It will move out just a little tiny bit, but it's best to keep it in line with that. The baby finger can move out like that. So basically this will be straight. It'll come out a little bit if you do something crazy like that, but as long as you keep it straight, this one comes out more than that one. So that's just a rule I use. I keep this straight in line with that part of the hand straight out, and this one I'll bring out more. So that's something you have to think about. So let's do this. Let's bring this straight up here, and then do that oval like that. Same one, space. You're going to go out, and the fingers, when you do fingers, when you bend, they're going to kind of like bend in toward the thumb. See how these hand fingers are bending in like this? They don't bend that way. So let's do this, and then another one. We'll bring this out a little bit more because this is a longer finger. Oval, bend, bring this down more. So it's going to all curve around the same way this curves around. So this, and let's just bring this. You have your 2 pieces. You have your one piece here and your other piece right here. And then, then your last one. Maybe that's why I can't talk, because my throat is dry. Back and then down like that. So you have this oval, this piece, and that piece like that. So then you have your palm, the other part of your palm, not your palm, just the other part of your palm. So if I ink that, providing I can find my pen, it would be something like this. Is that other piece? So right there. lines here at the bottom. And that tells you where your fingers start to come out from your hand. And you'd have this, it comes out. And then you'd have that piece. You flatten that a little bit. And then the curved piece actually wouldn't be flat, it would be round. Like that. Your palms. And then you'd have your wrist coming out like that. And then you'd have your line, your lifeline. That is if you chose to put that in there. All right, how about another one? Again, with your square, your round it off. This one's there. Let's just say your little piece here, your half cylinder, and then your little thumbprint part, like that. So as I say, this finger is going to come out, straight out. This one, 1, 2, 3, 4, and let's round this off again. Let's round that off. 1, 2, let's bend this a little bit. Bend that a little more, keep it close. And then your baby finger, let's bend that down. So, and then we're going to round this off here. So that, remember where they bend, they first bend, it's going to be a lower point. So this would actually bend here, and then bend there. The first bend is the most important one. That actually bends the finger. Like that. Keeping the space in between, except for this one where it's going to actually hit. So move that over just a little bit. Like that. And then your wrist will come down pretty much off the edge of that, and then not off the edge of that. And what I mean by that is, here you have your hand, your thumb, your fingers. Your wrist is going to come down from here and over from here, because that comes off, that little piece comes off. So you don't want your wrist like this, or you don't want your wrist like this. You want it on one edge and off the other edge, and off the other edge with your thumb. Let's do a couple more. See what we have. Which ones? What did I do? What did I do? All right, let's do a side real quick. So if you're doing a side hand, if you're doing a side hand, it's going to be the same thing. You're doing basically this, but it's going to be from the side. So you're not going to see that. It's perfectly from the side. You're going to see this, and you have, I can't use bad camera angle. This drops down lower than that. So basically, if you're doing it from the front, so if this is the front, and these are your finger holes, your palm is going to be like this, like that. One side lower than the other, and of course this side is going to be where your thumb is coming from. So turning in this to the side, you're going to have one side lower than the other. So if this was where the baby finger is, it's going to be like this, and the thumb is going to be like that. It's going to cover up. This is going to be in front of that. If I flipped it over and did it the other way, this would be lower. You won't see this piece here. So it'd be like that. And you have to not make this part too long. So this would be your thumb. So your thumb would come like this on to that part. And then this would lead up into your finger. You see your second finger, but you wouldn't see the other fingers because that's covering it. That would cover it. So if I did this in ink, this would come down. This will come up, and then you have your finger. Just be like that. And if you bend the other fingers, you might see them. If you bend them, you might see it. And the other way around is this. You'll see your baby finger, and that's going to be in the way. Come up. This is going to be the baby finger. You see the other finger and the three fingers. So you'd have your one, seeing your knuckle. This will come down. You'd have your second one, and then your third finger, like that. Then you'd have your palm, and maybe your thumb, like that. And that's only if it's a side view. Now you could twist it a little bit, and you would see some of the bottom of your hand, but I didn't twist it, so I'm not going to do that. So let's do a little side hand. Come on, Brian, get it right. So we'll do this. This is a square right here. We'll take it over. That square is a little too fat. Let's take it over. And you always do your box. You want to always do your box. And since that is round, like that, and we're going to put the thumb on the opposite side. So we'll just split that in half for now. And I'm just going to put my thumb here. Now, coming down, your palm, and put my finger here, 1, 2. And a lot of times, I can't say what's best to start with the small finger and then work with the others, because on this angle, a lot of them are going to be covered up. So you'll see what I'm saying in a second. 2. So this is going to go up more. 3. If I don't lose what I'm doing. And then 4. See, in this case what? In this case, this part was bent. So you can see the actual, you'd be able to see the actual knuckles. So, and I said I wasn't going to ink these things. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And then this. Would be like that. Anytime you see this, anytime you have your hand toward the camera, or your hand, the part of the hand with the baby finger toward the camera, you're going to see the other fingers, because this is not long enough to cover the rest, if that makes sense, because it didn't really make sense to me, but I hope that you got it. So the other one, palm and the thumb, like that. All right, let's do a couple more, because I don't want this to go too long and my words are getting slurred, like I'm tired or hungry or something. Let's do one facing you. Let's just say we've got this facing you. Here's the front of the thing. Here's your palm. The fatter part where your thumb comes from, and you have your 5, 2, 3, 4, your 4. Now let's just curve this just a little bit. Now, from here, it's just, this is your thumb is going to be connected. So we're going to put this little piece, piece, and then that part, like that. So this is just your ovals again. You can stretch it out as long as you want. It depends on the size of your hand, but you don't want to go too far. Oval, oval, and then let's bring this oval out a little bit more, or down, like that. Remember, the finger comes in. You don't want your palm to be way out here. So if I did this, bring them down some more. So I would say like this, 1, 2, remembering that this is coming towards you, so it's going to be in perspective. So 1, and it's coming down as well. And you don't have to do, you can do squares if you want to, whichever is easy for you. 1, 2, 3 in perspective, and then this one. So this hand is going to come down. Let's get rid of that. It's going to be that webbing when you do that webbing right here. Like that. And then with this one, this finger's a little too far. And that definitely too far. So we will put this one here, and I will bring it out more or bring it down, put a bend to it. And that's the palm. And why does that look crazy? Let's make it straight again. So you got the 1, 2. Okay, so this palm is kind of screwed up. 1, 2, 1, 2, because it's being the center. And then there, and then that finger. Please don't ink that. Trying to make it look good. So a little better. And if you drew, I don't know why that finger is just, to me, something's off. Something's off. This is where you walk away. As I say, you end up walking away from your drawings to find out what it is. It's this crazy looking thumb is too long. That's what it is. One thing. You walk away from your drawing to see what's the problem. That crazy looking thumb. Anyway, moving on. Let's do, what is that? Wait, did I just do that one? That one. All right, let's do just a couple more so I can save face for those of you who like this guy is screwing up with the hands. All right, action, hand poses. All right, so this one is, remember to do your square first. And usually I don't, if I draw a hand, it's not like this. I'm just doing that to show you guys the basic, but usually when I draw, I'll twist it, especially depending on the the position of the hand. So we have this circle again, and we have this part right there. So let's just say the thumb is connected here and here. This one piece, and then this piece here comes up and curve. The more you curve, the better it's going to be, because this is action. Let's just say the wrist is coming out like that. It's going to be like a blasting, shall we say. Somebody's with that blasting. So you don't want to make this too high. So we'll do this. And usually when I draw quickly without thinking about it, stuff comes out better. But when I have to actually think about it, did I do this position already? I don't know. I don't think so. Let's just keep going. So this one is here, and all this is ovals. Remember that. Ovals on top of a cylinder. And then this right here is going to come up. It's going to be a cylinder here. So this is going to be the back of your hand It's going to be here. It's going to up and then down across like that. Is that how you're doing it, Brian? Because it's going to be everything. Anytime you move your hands, it's going to be a curve. So this one has to be more here. And I'm going to have to ink this. And then here, like that. So this one, here. And then this one, about right there. So if I ink that, it would look like, starting with the back of the hand, we would have this finger here. And then this one here. It's the curve here. This one here. And if my camera stopped running, I would be highly pissed, but you guys wouldn't hear me saying I would be highly pissed if my camera stopped running, because you wouldn't know because my camera stopped running. But sometimes the old girl just wants to stop running on me in the middle of filming. And then you have that web here, and then the thumb comes out, and where it bends in, I always do this little thing here, and I call that just the thumbprint. And then you have this that comes actually like that, and then like that, and then you have your wrist, and this could have come down a little bit more like that, but I didn't. So, but the main thing is just remember to have this piece here. That's your main thing. All right, let's do one more. And then there was something I wanted to say. I forgot what I was going to say. All right, again, palm. And did I do that? Let me double check, because it's kind of hard. No, I did an up shot of that. Okay, so this is more of a down shot, kind of like a, he's going to ask me for something. I'll hand out kind of thing. Palm, thumb, piece, fingerprint part. So the finger is going to come out here. So let's just do this one. And remember, it's going to curve around. Don't forget the curve, because sometimes I forget the curve until I start doing my fingers. 2, 3, and 4. So what I'm going to do is I want to bend that up a little bit. That's going to be the first bend, second bend, and then it's only 2 piece there. So this one is going to be more up here. So it's just an oval like that. And then your second bend is going to be there, and then it connects. So next one is going to be a little higher, like that, finger. And the other one is going to be way up high. So we're going to do two bends on this one. And these are just ovals. Once you master them and get it to look right, then you're in the ballpark. Put it that way. You're in the ballpark. And not make this part too big and the rest too small. So set my thumb here, and then bring that out a little bit more. Kind of like that. And then you're just going to bend in, and remember your wrist is not going to come right here, it's going to come in. So by chance, if I do this too, this is going to be bent up. So your fingernail is going to be right here. This one is going to be more like this. This one's going to be all the way, not all the way, but more bent. And this one's going to be kind of like all the way. So you're going to have this bent there, that, come up, 1, 2. Actually, you wouldn't see this bend. You'd see the back of this one. And it goes down. You see the back of this one. And you see the front, the open palm. And then you'd have your palm. And that is my notifications. And one last thing before we go. If you do like the side of the hand, something I used to do all the time, wrong. Here's the side of your hand. Let's say here's my fingers. So I would put the thumb on the side like this, which is wrong. It just makes it flat. But if you bring the finger down to that webbing, again, put down this piece right here, the webbing, bring that down, and then you put your thumb, connect your thumb to that. That's more realistic. Then you can have the other part of your palm. But you can't have it looking flat. You have to have it more squared off. And this is the part that bends right here. It goes up to the webbing. And this will actually come down, and then your palm like that. And then the other hand, but you can't have it too long because that's too high up, but it was a rough sketch. So I just want to show you this part. It actually goes up into that finger. And then you can have this go to this finger, that part of the palm, and then your lines and so forth. What else before I end this video? I think that might be it. Let me cut and then I'll come back when I think of what I was going to say. Okay, I thought about what I was going to say, but I ended up inking this thing. And yeah, the camera was off. Well, it was paused. So basically, you want to have your thumb come down into this little webbing like that, so it won't look flat. And then you have your palm, because there are wrinkles in your thumb, or there are wrinkles here. So when you bring that in, you're going to see these wrinkles. So then that's going to be the bend in your fingernail. Like that. Now if I draw fingernails, I don't draw, if this is a finger, I don't draw, unless I'm drawing a woman, I don't draw the whole nail, and that's a woman. You draw the fingernail off of the finger like so. But if I'm drawing a man's finger, I'll maybe just do like the front and just a little piece to indicate. I don't end up drawing all fingernails because it just doesn't look good. It looks more womanish. So I just maybe draw the front to indicate, and maybe some of the back. But the only time I do fingernails is like that. It's for a woman, and that's coming off. So if her hand was like this, just it comes off of the hand, the finger. Finger, yes. Okay, so in leaving, I don't know if I said it, but I'll say it again. If you have your fingers, I'll just do 3 fingers. You have your first bend is going to be, if this length is this long, this is half, so your first length, your first bend is going to be here, your second bend, your first bend, and that's going to be the actual bend, the actual bend that means something. So if you only did 2 bends, usually in comics, they only bend your finger. If you understand what I'm saying, just once. You get this and this, which I mean by 2 bends. You know, only if you're doing some detail or close-up do they put their third bend in that finger. But this first bend is the lowest, so if you bend it, this has got to be longer than that. The first bend has got to be shorter than this, because you can put your second bend, which is really short, which is really small. So basically that's what I'm going to say. When you bend your fingers, make sure they bend at the shortest point. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying. It's late, and my brain is just running. So on that note, I'm going to end this video, and hopefully you guys got it. So just pulling back the papers so you can see what I went through, or what you went through. You had to suffer through it. You will understand what I was trying to say. So with that said, I will see you guys in the next video.